house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Nick Steed. Hi, Nick. Thanks so much for supporting us on Patreon. You're awesome. And Nick wants to know, have there been any house guests on BBUS or Big Brother Canada that I've really liked, but I was okay and like not that upset when they were evicted? All right, that's a great question. I think in general, I don't get like crazy upset when my favorites get evicted because it's a game, life moves on, it's all good. But I mean, sometimes I do get upset, but Jason. But that being said, I think the person that comes to mind the quickest, I would say season, what is it, like 14, when Brittany Haynes was evicted. I love Brittany, but I wasn't like totally torn up when she was evicted because wasn't that the week that Dan had his little funeral? And I was like, if Dan pulls this off, it would be insane. So, you know, it was kind of like a, if she goes, that means that Dan pulled off this huge move. So it was one of those situations. But thank you for your question. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so last night, quick review. Mitch was evicted by a vote of 5-3. He is the first member of the jury. Sad to see him go. But then they left us hanging. They were like, oh, you want to see who the next HOH is? Well, you can't. Well, after the feeds came back, we found out that Maddie won the HOH. Oh my god, don't screw this up. But, you know, I'm pretty excited about it because at least it's a power shift. Hopefully she won't shoot herself in the other foot this time. But of course, now that Maddie's the HOH, Jared is freaking kissing her butt. So he's like, what do you think you're going to do this week? So she's telling him that she doesn't really know for sure, but she does want to make sure that everyone feels uncomfortable this week. She's basically saying that anybody could go up on the block, except for Ramsey. Alright, so she's telling Jared she doesn't know for sure what she's going to do, but she throws out there that she could possibly be putting Kelsey and Nikki up against each other, and obviously Kelsey would be the target over Nikki. So Jared keeps throwing Cass's name out there. He's like, you wouldn't want to put up Cass? What? You wouldn't want to put her up? You mentioned her in your eviction speech last week. Aren't you going to put up Cass? And she's just like, I don't know. And she brings up how she felt a really negative energy come back into the house when Kelsey returned. Oh, snap. I'd have to agree with that, though. I feel like the cattiness has definitely returned since Kelsey's come back. I'm not saying that Kelsey's, like, the cat. I think they're all cats. But she really brings it out in all of them. So Jared reports back to Kelsey and Phil in the hot tub, and he's like, yeah, it seems like it could be any one of us going this week. But he really thinks that it's going to be somebody from the trio. So Kelsey is just like, why not Cass? Maddie has said that Cass's ass is grass. Dr. Seuss. But Jared's like, yeah, it seems like Tim really got in Maddie's ear. He played up the whole we're the popular kids saying the prom king and queen, and Maddie was like bullied by some pretty girl in high school, and like that's making her want to take us out. So, I mean, she is only like 22 years old, so maybe she's still living in high school. I don't know. 21? I don't know. Maybe she needs to move on, but still, maybe she's going after you guys because you're a freaking trio and there's not that many people left. So Nikki and Tim were chatting in the bedroom, and they were talking about what Maddie's going to do this week. Nobody really seems to know exactly what she's going to do at this point. Is she going to go after the trio? Is she going to go after Cass? Maybe she'll go after the brothers. Who knows? But Nikki and Tim would both love to see Kelsey go. Nikki even called her like a witch or something, so she's ready to see her go. They feel like she's a negative energy in the house, even though Kelsey seems to think that she's just spreading positivity everywhere. And Kelsey's acting like this is her house, and Tim especially does not like that. So then Maddie was discussing nominations with Ramsey, so we get a little peek into what's going on here. I feel like the only conversations we can really see what Maddie's thinking nominations-wise are like Ramsey and maybe Tim. So Maddie's goal this week is to gather as much information as possible. She just wants people to spill their guts to her, and then she's going to tell them nothing so that they feel really unsafe. So she is thinking maybe I put up Jared or Kelsey with a pawn. The pawn being like Nikki or Tim. I think at this point, if you want to use somebody as a pawn, Tim is definitely not the right choice because he could totally go home. So then in that scenario, if the veto is used on Jared or Kelsey, she could put up the brothers and they would go home. Or should she put up Jared and Kelsey together? That would guarantee that one of them would go home. So she's got some options here. But Ramsey seems to want Kelsey out this week because we know that Ramsey's kind of got this thing going with Jared. So if Kelsey's out of the house, it's going to be even better for him. So speaking of Kelsey, she goes up to the HOH to plead her case to Maddie. Oh boy, this crap went on for like an hour and it was the worst ever because they talked so fast and they just kept saying the same crap over and over and over again. So here's the main points that Kelsey was hitting in this conversation, like 1,000 times. So she was saying, I just want you to know, like, everyone was trying to get you and Ramsey up on the block last week, and you weren't my target, blah, 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 blah. Also, she's like, there are some people who haven't been on the block yet, like the brothers, and she mentioned the brothers. And she also said, like, I've been up on the block, like, every other week, blah. That doesn't mean that you're not going to go up again. Come on. So then she brings up how the two of them, Kelsey and Maddie, don't actually hate each other, but everybody seems to be acting like they do, and that's just making the whole situation worse. So she's just like, I don't hate you. I'm sorry I took your duck. She's trying to, like, blame it on other people. And she's like, we tried to make that deal with you and Ramsey before you guys even had power. Like, nobody else was trying to work with you guys. And then that all blew up in our faces. And she's trying to blame all this drama surrounding that on Mitch. And, oh my God, it's just exhausting. The whole time, Maddie's just like, yeah, I don't hate you either, except I do. So, meanwhile, Jared and Ramsey were playing pool down in the backyard. And Ramsey's like, I'm going to be honest with you right now. Kelsey is holding you back in this game. And Jared was like, oh, I know. So Jared is like, I'm 99% sure that Kelsey's going home this week. And if Kelsey's not here, I really don't have Raul anymore. So I'm going to be all alone here, except for you, Ramsey. You're my person. So, gross. Really? I feel like Jared is connected to, like, so many other people in the house before Ramsey. But Ramsey is like, yeah, man, it's great. Like, it's getting to that point in the game where I'm getting ready to reveal that I'm really working with you and it's going to be awesome. And Jared's like, yeah, it's getting to that point. It's going to be great. So Jared is, like, totally ready to get rid of Kelsey again. It seems like as long as he's safe, he doesn't care. So eventually Jared goes ahead and joins Kelsey and Maddie up in the HOH room. It's still the same stuff over and over again. Kelsey is still talking crap about Mitch. She's trying to blame, like, everything on him, like, starting all this drama. And Jared's like, yeah, our relationship with you guys was only strained last week because we wanted Mitch out and you guys were trying to keep him. And don't put us up on the block. And Maddie's just like, yeah, you guys aren't, like, my only targets in the house. Like, I'm going after everyone, pretty much. So, yeah. Maddie and Ramsey were chatting before bed about the nominations. She still doesn't really know what she's going to do, but she's like, I don't want to do what's predictable. Sometimes what's predictable is what needs to get done, so, like, get over yourself. But she tells Ramsey that her targets are Kelsey, Jared, Cass, and the brothers. Obviously, she can only take out one, so there's a lot of different things that she could do this week. She's got to pick one. So this morning, the house guests were talking about the HOH competition this week, and they were like, it was effed up. Apparently, the question that Maddie won the competition on was worded very weirdly, and, like, 5 people were eliminated at once. She was the only person to get it right. So they're just like, oh man, we should have a redo. And Tim was like, I think we have, like, a reason to complain. Like, it makes sense. And maybe if we had complained during the competition, they would have done something about it. But now it's just too late. We'll have to wait and see on Sunday what the question was like, but I don't know. So then Maddie and Tim were talking about the nominations, And everybody's saying that, like, Maddie has a crush on Tim and, like, she's all up his butt and stuff. Maybe. So, it kind of seems like she's got a crush on every guy in the house, let's be real. But Maddie was telling him, I don't want there to be a lot of retaliation after this week. She doesn't want a ton of people coming after her, so she wants to be really smart about what she does. So she's like, maybe I should put up one of the trio or the brothers with Nikki as a pawn, and Tim is like, well, I don't think she'd mind being a pawn. But then Tim is telling her, like, maybe you should put up 2 people from the same alliance so that they won't have as much negotiating power, and then, like, they can't save each other with the veto. So it sounds to me like Tim is telling her, like, break up the 3, put up Kelsey and Jared. Because it seems like Maddie does not really want to go after Raul. She wants Kelsey or Jared out. But at the same time, with Tim saying put up 2 people from the same alliance, it could very easily be him and Cass going up, right? I mean, it only makes sense. But Tim and Nikki were then talking about his conversation with Maddie. And Tim is like, Nikki, I just want you to know, like, you might be a pawn this week. And she's just like, what? But he doesn't want her to freak out. She's not going to be in danger. Maddie actually likes her. She doesn't want her to go home. So then Nikki goes and talks to Maddie. And she's like, are you putting me up on the block? And Maddie's just like, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. Like, who told you that? So Nikki lies and says that Jared told her when it was actually Tim just a few minutes before. And Maddie's like, well, he doesn't know shit. So then Nikki is saying, like, I don't want to go up against Kelsey. Like, I'd be so upset if I ended up going home against her. And Maddie's telling her, no, like, it's all good. It's going to be fine. Just trust me. I'm not going to put you in a dangerous situation. Just trust me. So then things are getting a little crazy because Maddie goes and talks to Ramsey about this conversation that she had with Nikki. And she is pissed that Jared told Nikki that she's going up on the block. We know that it was Tim, but Maddie's just like, holy crap, that's the only person that I said Kelsey and Nikki to. So, like, she's actually thinking that it was Jared that told Nikki. Did you forget that you were just talking to Tim, like, a few minutes before? I don't get that. But she's, like, 100% pissed at Jared. They cannot believe that Jared would do that. So then they're also talking about how they want to work with Tim. Maybe she's just thinking, like, there's no way Tim would do that. So they're talking about how they want to work with Tim. Not the people that Tim is associated with currently. Just Tim. Let me know how that works out for you. But the feeds then went down for the Have Not competition. They've been down, like, all afternoon. So I'll have the results on that for you guys tomorrow. They're also going to have nominations tonight. I'm thinking at this point the plan is to put up Jared and Kelsey. And wouldn't that be crazy if, like, the reason that Jared was going up was because she thinks that he told Nikki that she was going on the block? That'd be crazy. But that could just be the tipping point. We never know. But I'll have that for you guys tomorrow too. And just a quick little shout out here for Big Brother US fans. Big Brother Group is having a huge Big Brother 18 premiere party on June 22nd. I went to their party last year and it was incredible. And I'm planning on going again this year. So I just wanted to let you guys know about it. If you want more information, it's going to be in New York City and you should check out their website, nycpremierparty.com. There's going to be so many awesome BB alums there, and I'm going to hopefully be there so we can chat. But check it out. Let me know if you're going. And until tomorrow, much love. Edit.